Welcome back to the Chick and the Duck podcast with myself, Ryan, and my brother Micah. We're talking about anything and everything in pop culture. If you are listening to this, it is the 18th of October, and Mike and I are recording this on the 11th because we are going to be both on vacation, overlapping in the same place. But we're not going to be recording for 2 weeks. I guess 3 weeks from now is when we'll record next. But so we're making two kind of smaller episodes. This one that comes out as you're listening, and the next one that comes out next week. But today we are reviewing Ahsoka, and uh, Micah, you're the resident Star Wars fan, technically speaking. So I'm gonna hand it over to you. You can explain Ahsoka, and we'll review the thing.
Yeah. Um, Ahsoka's the show is like a continuation of Rebels.
Have you seen Rebels?
Oh yeah.
I've seen it. I like long. I don't even remember when it
Yeah,
came.
it was a long time ago.
It came out 2014. So
Yeah. Yep.
I haven't seen it
Um,
since high school.
yeah, me either. But yeah, so basically, it's following Ahsoka obviously, but it's got characters in it like Sabine. She's like one of the main
Mm-hmm.
people in it. Thrawn is the overarching evil in the entire show. But it includes like uh, the sisters, like the witches. I don't even know what is their actual. I don't know what their actual name is.
The witches. Hera? You talking about Hera? No, you're.
No, there's Morgan. Morgan's the one chick's name, but they
Oh
have a
yeah.
the witches of Dathomir.
Oh
So
them. Yes, yes,
the
yes.
Night Sisters. That's what their name is. The Night Sisters.
Yeah.
They're in it. Uh, and basically the story is following them trying to basically jump to another galaxy. So they're
Yep.
like searching for this map to find where Thrawn is, and then Sabine is super interested in it because that's where Ezra would be, because Ezra took Thrawn away with the hyperspace whales to, you know, at the time, who knows where.
Yeah. Right.
But so that's basically the premise. You get a lot of good characters,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of good moments. We had talked about up till the last episode. So we won't go into as much detail about that. Also, because it's build up, but um, it was really cool. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we've talked about like how cool the hyperspace whales were incorporated into it.
Those were one of my favorite parts.
The visuals of the entire show were on point.
I did
Uh,
like them.
we were never like on a desert planet. We were never like
Yeah.
in this cliche places, these cop out like easy film locations.
Right.
Um, and they made it look, super cool. Like even the island with the map on it, like with the red forest, the
Mm-hmm.
red leaf forest, was like, that was like sick.
It was cool. I agree. I liked
Um,
it.
we got some fanfare, and also the fanfare was like extremely
Like
not like just cool in the sense of characters, but like the way they handled it was really interesting.
it.
She basically dies and goes like to the afterlife type deal, like
Yeah,
a
she's
different
in like.
ethereal plane.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
and
Anakin obviously shows
and
up.
yeah, and Anakin's there, but then so they're like whatever, then they start fighting, and then he takes her like through her apprenticeship when she was a
Yes.
Padawan,
Like
and like
we see the Clone Wars basically.
yeah, we basically see scenes from like the Clone Wars
Like
show.
it's just live action. So we see Rex. Obviously, you see Anakin. You see
Yeah,
Ahsoka young.
yep,
You see. I mean, you see other characters as well, but um,
yeah. It was really good. It's really well done. It was super interesting. I actually really enjoyed it.
I thought it was that's how you do fanfare and like I thought
Yeah,
like that
they made it like plot. They made it drive the plot. So
it wasn't there just to be there. Although it was sick.
yeah, not for sure. Anytime you see Hayden Christensen, it's sick. But
Yeah.
um,
Okay, I have a I don't know how much I agree with this, but I hear people I've obviously listened to people talk about it. Um and I want to know if you agree with this. That Hayden Christensen, although like great as Anakin, you know, he's a bad actor.
I mean, I don't think he hasn't done anything.
That's
I mean, I bet he's not a great actor, but I'm sure he's not a terrible actor at this point in his time in his life.
well, people are just saying that he's bad in this, like acting wise, not necessarily like portrayal of the character, but like acting wise, he's bad.
I really don't think he's bad
I don't
acting
think he's
wise.
bad. He's not like amazing. He's definitely not a top tier Star Wars actor.
I mean, it's still not his fault. I mean, I guess you could. He's like recreating scenes from Clone Wars. So like they, I guess his lines. People think his lines sound cliche,
Hmm.
like they sound corny. I guess
I
I don't
thought the
know.
movie was corny, so
Yeah,
I guess the show was great, but
but um, well, just like the things they say, he says like they just think those are weird, but they're like, I mean, he's talking about lines from like an animated show, so it's like I don't know, and it's still Star Wars, so they just don't really have the
hmm
most crafted dialogue because that's
yes,
not really the interest point. But I don't think he's. I really didn't think he was bad.
I didn't
Um,
think he was bad either. I just was hearing it and wanted to know what you thought as well.
no, yeah, I don't. I wouldn't say I agree with that. Uh, I would say probably the worst parts of him are not really up to his control.
Yeah, probably.
Um, but yeah, so basically, I mean, it was a good driving plot point too. It was a good arc for Ahsoka. It's basically just playing on the whole fact that she like is carrying the weight of uh how can she be a good Jedi when she was trained by you know
Hmm.
one of the darkest evils.
Yeah, basically.
So it's like, am I just bad?
Hmm.
You know,
Right.
that kind of thing, and different villains were playing off of that. Um, and talking and reference like Thrawn was referencing her as, a Padawan. Every time he'd say something, he'd be like, not gonna negotiate with the Padawan of Anakin Skywalker.
Right.
Blah blah
Hmm.
blah. So that stuff was interesting. Uh, Characters were interesting. They were all pretty much all good.
Yeah, I
Um,
like obviously Ahsoka's good. What's her face? Sabine was good.
she was good. She was a bit like annoying, but it made sense. Also, it's like,
She
why are you so dumb? But it's like she's also supposed to be pretty young, and
she also
uh,
she had a lot of screen time that I didn't feel like I
yeah,
cared
she didn't
for.
really need a ton of screen time.
Yeah, there was parts I was like, just give me back to Ahsoka. Like I don't care that you're like.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true.
Granted, I haven't
There's
seen
other people I would have rather had taken screen time from Ahsoka.
like the last episode that doesn't have Balin's skull at all.
No, or Shinati, and I
Yeah,
like both. They're both probably my favorite characters of the show.
yeah.
Um, they're probably my standouts in how much I enjoyed them. Which sucks that gosh, what is his name?
Thrawn.
No,
Oh,
Ray Stevenson, that he died.
oh yeah, dude. Because that
Tragic because his character was so good, and they set up so many things with him.
yeah, they're clearly trying to set him up for like another season of Ahsoka, but it's like, what do you do? Like you
Well, now
have to recast him.
maybe they that was like the biggest problem with the last episode is they definitely cut a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
with him.
Yeah.
like his ending or whatever, and going around and different things. I feel like there was probably a lot more with him in that last episode that they didn't include because it set up so much for him as a character that he needed to be there for,
Oh, yeah,
and
maybe.
which sucks. But I think they should just pass the torch to Shinhati. I think she should be a crucial character in the Star Wars universe.
She's cool, man. She's a
She
good
is really
character.
cool, and she has the same kind of conflict as him.
Well, what I like about them is like when they go to Thrawn, right? And he's like, "Oh, should I?" He says, "I don't remember exactly." He said like General. What? I just forgot his name.
Oh, his old
Yeah, he calls
yeah
him like
general
General or
general
Jedi
yeah he
Skull.
calls him General Balin Skull,
Yeah, and he's like, "Not anymore. I haven't been to the Jedi like that." Like, I'm sure that we've seen that before. I don't remember exactly, but like obviously we've seen it with Anakin turning to the dark side, but they're kind of like lukewarmness about Jedi and Sith and like good and bad. Like it's just so interesting to me.
yeah. There's more of that in the animated stuff.
That's okay.
Like
That's good.
Ezra's his masters is like the same thing. He was trained outside the after the fall or whatever the
That's
Jedi
right.
Order, so he wasn't really a Jedi anymore. So there's more of this lukewarmness and people with the feeling that's like what Balin said. He was like, what did he say? He was asked whether he misses the Jedi Order, and he said, "I miss what it stood for, but not what it was,"
That's cool. Like I like that.
which is really cool because it's like obviously the Jedi is a religion,
Yeah,
so it's
clear.
like it's very dependent on how uh, the people in it function and stay
Mm-hmm.
and stick to their
Right.
doctrine. So
Right. Yeah. But yeah, no,
made it
those.
made it really interesting. But yeah, I would really love for them to somehow do something where uh, Shinhati takes over his whatever his goal that they gave him in this entire series
Mm-hmm.
because um or they could recast him. But my problem with that is like I loved so much how he looked.
He was
Like
great. You'd have to get somebody
so much.
the same type of look. Like he'd have to.
You would, yeah.
I could see like I saw people fan casting like Gerard Butler. I could kind of see that. Um, but I don't know exactly.
Yeah, let's see what people were saying. Graham McTavish. He's in like The Witcher, Hobbit, uh, Game of Thrones, Rambo.
Mm.
He would he would be good.
What's his name?
Graham McTavish. Here, I'll send
Oh,
you.
I see it. I see him. Oh.
Clicked the wrong thing.
You say good. I see. I see
Just
him now.
like that. Let me
Uh,
send.
this guy would be good. What's his name?
He'd be good.
Look up Liev Schreiber.
Yeah, I see
Lievs.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, he'd be great. Yeah.
He's a good actor too, because he's in like X Men as who is he in X Men?
What do I know him as?
X Men. Oh, he's in Asteroid
Uh,
City. Um,
no, but
He's Sabretooth in X Men.
I know, but there's always like one.
Other thing.
There's always one movie that you know an actor from. I remember him in something. What was
Uh,
he in? Where I can just like picture his face vividly, and it would not be. Oh, he's in Spotlight.
he is.
Yes,
Where's the?
he is. He's one of the writers. Or no, he's the main dude. He's the dude who comes in.
Why isn't it coming up? I hate. Oh, right. That.
Marty Baron. He's the dude who comes into the
Ah,
whatever Boston Globe. and
Yeah,
takes over.
he's my pick probably. Like he'd be good.
He'd be great. I don't know who this is. People are picking another Game of Thrones actor, which
I mean, fair.
fair enough. They have this. They do have the same look. I would not pick this dude. His name's Liam Cunningham. Wouldn't pick him. Somebody said on this list, the next one was Liev Schreiber or whatever.
Yeah,
Ever you say that. He was the next one on their pick.
yeah.
I would pick him or honestly, this Graham McTavish. He
They
looks
both
great.
look good.
He looks great too.
Yeah, they'll both be
So
good.
it is definitely there's definitely options. Um, I think they just have to.
Yeah, right. Like they gotta.
Okay, I mean, this is like some people, man. I'm on
What?
Reddit, so I sent you the link, so you probably know I'm on Reddit. But I was looking at other people and other comments, and this dude goes, "Are you okay with Brits? Maybe Idris Elba."
Oh my. Dude, there's one thing between like.
Somebody, please explain to me what's wrong with that. Why that would not work as a recast of an old white guy.
The
One,
thing
he's
is,
not that old, and two, he's not that white.
it's one thing when it's like 20 years later they do a different character. Oh, they recast, they change the skin, whatever. That guy dies. You can't just pick
You can't just
black
turn
guy.
around and just switch it to a black guy.
That would be so bad. Everybody would. That would be bad.
Yeah, it'd be really bad. No,
Um,
Idris Elba, I would love to see him in Star Wars. I feel like he would fit the Star Wars look.
yeah, he would. Like,
Um,
I don't even know. We need more originality in Star Wars. That's all I
I think he'd be. Well, I think there will be a lot of originality in Star Wars now
know.
in a different galaxy. That was like the best thing ever. Okay, if we could talk about it right now,
Mm-hmm.
Ahsoka could have been the worst show ever. And it wouldn't matter because they went to a different galaxy and they're setting up the fact that we're not going to be in the stupid Skywalker's
Yeah,
saga
so
anymore,
done.
which is just like the best thing to ever happen ever.
I just want to know how they're gonna create. Obviously, Thrawn's a villain, but like personally, he's not that menacing in my
He
opinion.
is menacing. He's menacing from strategy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
only thing, reason that he's not. The problem with the show is that it's such a tight turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he lost so fast, which is just like not a characteristic thing. Like the reason why he's menacing is because he's so good at war strategy, which
Right,
it is
right, right.
showcased, but he lost like immediately or was unsuccessful like immediately like multiple
Mm-hmm.
times, which
Right,
was like that doesn't really fit. But like if he was the villain, he'd be a good villain over like multiple movies, doing strategic attacks and winning like small things.
for sure.
Um, but he's got like he's like one of those people and he's super confident, and that's kind of like one of the reasons like people talk about, like the Vader walk, the villain walk. When villains
Mm-hmm.
walk, they're like, that thing. When he stands in front of people, he holds his hands behind his back, which is completely defenseless and like leaves your whole body open to
Open.
anything. So when he talks to people like the witches and Ahsoka, he walks all the way up, like he walks all the way up to them, and he'll just sit with his arms crossed behind his back.
Yeah, which is
And
pretty.
so there's stuff like that in character design that's like done really well. But yeah, I don't think that I don't think that it's easy to make a general the main focus
The problem
of
I
the villain.
have is like you look at, and I hate to take things back to the MCU, but you can even pick like the DCU or whatever. And I think that Harry Potter, if they created new things, which I want them to do, just in the wizarding world, it'd be hard to like they would have the same problems as Star Wars. Because not saying Thrawn's not a good villain, but you had such a great villain, like the best villain, like ever. That you don't have like a rogues gallery of all these villains like Marvel and DC where they got, you have Joker and then you have Scarecrow and then you have Doomsday, and then you have Darkseid, and then you have all these guys. And Marvel's got Thanos now. They're going from Thanos to Kang, and they could go to Galactus, and they could go to like Harry Potter's got the same problem. They had Voldemort, the best villain in that franchise, one of the best villains ever, who's like just magically someone appears. Like so
Well, yeah. I mean, to be fair, going into a completely different galaxy is going to
that
open a lot of
helps.
opportunities for
Yeah, that's
different
what I'm
things to
saying,
exist within Star Wars.
and that's
But
why I like it.
there is other really big bads. But the problem is that if you go, like, there's people that are bigger bads than Vader, like, in the sense of like every aspect. There's like super beings in the Star Wars universe.
In like canon somewhere.
Yeah, in canon, like giant,
I also don't understand Star Wars canon.
extremely bad like force users.
Yeah,
That are like across galaxy type force abilities.
let's see. Most powerful Star Wars characters canonically. Let's see.
Let's say
Well, there's yeah, Darth Krayt,
yeah, he's crazy,
but he's like number 30.
but he's crazy villain though. He would be a good villain to have, at some point. But trying to figure out. Um,
Oh yeah, Darth Plagueis, but he's dead, I think.
I've seen stuff about.
The Bendu,
Um,
Exar Kun, he's a Jedi. Darth Revan,
this
yeah.
is like a species. There's like a species.
Oh, Darth Nihilus.
Uh,
Oh, is it Tenebrae? Darth Darth
well, one
Vitiate?
we need Darth Raven or whatever. Raven, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's so cool.
Yeah,
Tenebrae. Uh, he was pretty crazy.
I don't know Star Wars canon well, so like I'm
He
not.
has. I think he was like a mind control guy.
But yeah, I'm looking for new in Star Wars, and Ahsoka did a good job setting that up. I think. Um. Oh, I want to talk about one of my favorite aspects of the entire show. Um. It is correspondent with episode 5. Still 5. What's your favorite episode?
No. It's a good question. Probably. What episode is that? Oh, probably either one right before they leave, or this. I think it's the second one after they get there, because the first one they don't focus on Ahsoka at all.
Right.
But I think I think there's 3 episodes in the New Galaxy, right?
Yeah, like Heir to
Yeah.
the Empire.
So the middle one, not the one when they get there and Ahsoka's not in it at all, and not the last one. Um,
Oh yeah,
so the one in the middle, and then
The Force is my ally, or
or the
whatever.
one right before they leave.
What it's called.
One of those because uh, I love Balin Skull and Shin Hati, so
Yeah,
that was like the last time they were like really in it.
this is episode
Um,
7.
well, it was the one before they left.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
6.
6.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one's
6.
good too. I
That
like.
one, and that's the one obviously that she goes like, isn't that the one that she goes into with Anakin and all that? I mean, that was a good episode.
That's episode 5.
Well, one of them, I don't remember. They blur together
They
as
do blur together.
when they're
Uh,
supposed to. So, but
the episode. I don't know. I don't. what I really loved, the whole like after the Anakin stuff, Ahsoka like goes like obviously the whales, which is literally one of my favorite shots in all of Star Wars. Um,
Yeah,
but then you have before that when she goes into like the water and it's like this baptism kind of imagery. I thought that was so sick.
yeah,
I and then she's then literally clothed in white, like just fire. Um,
it was fire.
but um, really love that. Um, okay, I don't know how much you're gonna agree with this. Maybe we'll disagree. I am tired of lightsaber fighting sucking. I think it
Yeah,
sucks.
I agree. It was a lot better, but it was still very.
Well, like there was
How do
good
I describe it? It was down to earth.
the well there was good stuff. It was like fine. Yeah, it wasn't like the prequels people say is over choreographed. Whatever. It looks sick. I don't really care.
Yeah, exactly. I loved it.
It's like over the top, but it looks cool. So I like whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to talk about it, obviously the original trilogy, the lightsaber fighting wasn't that great. It
But
got better over time.
it's just as good as this. And this is 2023 versus 1980. Like it should
Exactly.
be.
That's what I'm saying. They went back to like that, which I think they
It's
is what
dumb.
probably what maybe that's what the majority of people prefer, but I prefer that it's closer to like the over the top, like
Well,
flipping and
and
doing different
lightsabers
things.
don't feel like these powerful weapons when you like oh, you get like a scratch on your chest and like some
Yeah, that
sparks
too.
fly.
It
Like
should not like also unless you're like wearing like obviously Beskar has been known to stop lightsabers.
mm-hmm.
Unless you're like wearing something like that, like it's
But like
not
Mace Windu,
there's too many times where people are like getting cut, yeah, like you said, like across the chest, which I guess like possible if you like just sliced like barely it
yeah.
barely went in at all.
But Mace Windu
But
was like
like
cutting people's heads off, dude.
exactly, like they need to be
Like
going for like hands and like legs and things like
like
that.
the stormtroopers like oh that's another thing that we'll get to. But it's just like so it's like it's not terrible, but was like the whole like zombie stormtrooper fight was painful. In my like I was like, this is so bad. It looks awkward and
I
clunky
mean
and
yeah,
slow.
it was clunky for sure. It
I
was
didn't like
not
it.
it was cool, but not for like what it was. They would not have struggled to get past these
No.
super slow zombie like they beat them when they were alive
And like they should be
fast and then they're like struggling and like oh my gosh we need to keep closing these doors because we can't like they could have just killed them in like 2 seconds. We got like 3 Jedi, dude.
and you could have I hate them. I know this is another like choreograph thing, but like the prequels they jump around, they're so athletic and agile, and now they're just like and they're just like walking it's just weird. I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, I mean the only thing I'll say about that stuff is that it's also hindered by the characters right now.
Yeah,
um
for sure.
Obviously the Jedi Order is no more.
Right.
So like, but
This
characters
is
like
when does this take
Ahsoka
place?
should be flipping around. It takes place the same time as Mando.
So it's post Rise of Skywalker, right?
Uh
Or no?
pre
Pre.
pre. It's in between.
See that this is another thing I hate. Unless she dies, why is she not in the
Well, I think that she dies.
Oh,
It's like a
okay.
I think it's like a Rise of Skywalker is like a long time
I thought
later. Oh,
how
but it's not.
no,
No, it's not.
how long is
She must well, you
yeah,
know what she
because
does?
Luke and Leia.
You know what she does?
What?
She gets stranded in a different galaxy.
What? I guess that could be it. Because it's just
I mean, she just got stranded in a different
yeah, she's
galaxy,
somewhere
so
else. Yeah.
she
No,
doesn't
I
go.
get it.
And the very end of the episode, I mean, she's talking about how this is their new path.
This is the way. So
This
where
is the way.
man? Because man, this is clearly setting up like a movie. Dave Filoni heir to the Empire movie, like Mando and all this stuff. Like, how do they end up interacting again? That's what I want to know.
I'm guessing they're gonna end up in a different galaxy at some point.
That's interesting. That is.
Well, I'm just guessing. What I'm guessing is that they're rebuilding the Jedi Order. Um, it's like type deal. Like not like the. It probably won't be like the Jedi Order,
Mm-hmm.
but it'll be like what the Jedi Order was supposed to be.
Right.
Um, and failed to be.
Yeah.
Uh, and I'm guessing they're gonna send out like beacon type stuff to like get certain people over there. Like he's gonna bring Grogu to be there and train and different things.
Do you think
Something
Grogu should
like
have a
that.
lightsaber?
I think Grogu should be a CGI toddler first, and not a doll. If
Fair.
they give a doll a lightsaber, I might lose it.
It would look so weird.
It already looks terrible. He looks awful.
It'd be like literally just like that's the light.
Yeah, yes,
Like that's
exactly. Like there's no mobility. I don't know what they're thinking. A
yeah.
doll was fine when he
He was young and not
didn't
doing it.
walk.
Yeah, now he walks and he looks
That one
weird.
scene, dude, oh my gosh, at the very end where he runs and his legs are like the worst thing ever. They're like and he's like looks like he's tiptoeing, dude.
Have you
It's
heard
insane.
that like people complain that Yoda has a lightsaber? That's like a
No.
huge thing on Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars fans hate Star Wars, so I don't like because he's so powerful
Why?
that he should never have a lightsaber.
What?
Yeah, I need to take this off so you can
That's
say
not
stuff, but I can't hear you.
okay.
Hmm.
That's just not how that works though.
Dude, I know, I agree, but that's what people
There's
say.
no Jedi that hasn't carried a lightsaber. And maybe I'm wrong, but
Yeah, I don't know, but people like think it's like bad. Like George Lucas is an idiot for.
an idiot creating his own movie
I know.
from
I mean,
nothing.
I'm not like a huge George Lucas fan, but
Okay, there's a few apparently.
well, Yoda's one of the most powerful. People say it's because
It says there were a few, although some of them simply might not have been seen with one, although they had used one, but they just when they were seen they didn't have one. But it says Master uh Vodo Sios Bass
master
preferred the
photosynthesis.
preferred the simplicity of uh a force enhanced wooden staff.
That's fire though. That's different. That's
Yeah, but
fire.
it's still a weapon, to be
Yeah,
fair.
no. People
But
people say
my thing with Yoda is that I guess maybe he could use his little cane thing. He could have
yeah.
used that as weapon. That would have been interesting. So I'm not saying that maybe there wasn't a better option, but bro, my guy made the character. Like, I don't think that you're correct as fans of Star Wars that
Yeah,
he
no.
was wrong. And also, I don't know that I mean, I think he did it well. I mean, he's still, yes, he's very powerful. He doesn't use his lightsaber all that much.
He doesn't at all in the original trilogy because he's old for one. But and people like when he talks to Luke, he's like he says like he calls it like some I don't remember the quote, but he calls it something that makes it seem people like take that as gospel to mean like, oh, he thinks lightsabers are bad, and then so I don't remember the quote.
Um,
It's an Empire.
I mean, he says like your weapons, you will not need them.
Yeah, something along those lines.
It's better than like, here, who said? Oh yeah, that still is like a terrible quote.
What?
The Luke one from The Last Jedi.
Oh, where you like
The laser sword one.
yeah.
You think what? I'm gonna walk out with the laser sword and face down the whole First Order?
I think it's
It's
kind
like,
of
don't call it a laser
funny.
sword
Laser sword.
ever again.
Yeah, right. It's true.
And then Morgan, she got whatever she got when she got the powers of the Night Sisters.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Oh,
sick. And
that
then
was cool with the
that
sword.
sword is like in lore. It's like
Oh,
one of the
okay.
most powerful weapons. So that sucks because she got wrecked like pretty instantly with the sword, and now the sword's no more. So it's like that was kind of a waste.
Right. Yeah.
I
That's
think they
true.
I think they could have went in the think pot a little bit more with that one, and
Yeah.
maybe made a more interesting choreographed like magic versus force. Like, you know how cool that would have been? How the force and magic, dark magic interact in a fight.
That would have been sick, but they didn't do it.
But no.
Um. Yeah.
Overall, I think it was good. Like I said,
It was
I think it
fine.
was a
Yeah.
W no matter what because it took us away from the Skywalker world.
Yeah. And do you think this is the last we'll see of Anakin? Like the final shot of the show is Anakin. Do you think it's the final time we'll see Hayden Christensen?
Hopefully, I don't know that we need to see it ever again. So,
Yeah, I
other
think.
than technically speaking, I think it's the last of Hayden Christensen. Hopefully, it's not the last of Anakin in the sense that like hopefully they make a rated R Vader movie.
That'll never happen.
It needs to happen.
I agree it needs to happen, but that's also like this is the
Also,
problem.
I think they wasted the Inquisitors on uh Kenobi. I think that they should have also made they should have made a Vader rated R Vader movie that focuses heavily also on the Inquisitors and like brutal execution.
This show was so much better than Kenobi.
Oh my gosh, by a lot.
I would still give this like if we're doing a letterbox thing, I'll probably give it 4 stars.
I would give it 4. Yeah, I think that's fair.
And still one of the better Star Wars things, but just not.
Still one of the better things of its respected genre.
It's
I
better
mean, when you talk
than
about like the MCU type movies, the
yeah.
Star Trek, Star Wars, those kind of movies tend to not have high ceilings. So
Mm-hmm.
very hard to make a 4.5, 5 star. So
Oh yeah, it's true. I liked it. I had a good time. It's cool
same.
moments. Nothing crazy.
I agree.
So
Yeah. Fat axe.
that's what we got.
Oh yeah.
You wanna send us off?
Oh yeah, I guess we gotta stop recording
You
this
have to
episode.
stop
I
recording
didn't
and
even
then
think about that.
start again.
Yeah, well, thanks for listening to us talk about Ahsoka and Star Wars and the state of Star Wars and all these
Yeah.
different things.
I'm glad we kind of talked a little more than just the show. I'm glad it kind of fizzled out a little bit.
Yeah, me too. Well, with that being said, life's tough. Get out.